Good morning. My name's Dan Neal. I'm the curator of Troy University Rosa Parks Museum. We're here today to discuss an exciting new exhibition opening April 3rd of 2014 called Two Lines, focusing on the DMZ in Korea and the European Greenbelt. This exhibition focuses on two areas of world division that came about at the close of World War II when international powers created boundaries between the U.S. And Allied forces and the Soviets and the Communist forces. And these barriers have been in existence for 60 years in Korea. Of course, in 1989, the Berlin Wall fell, and the subsequent opening up of Europe brought new opportunities for the Europeans. We're fortunate to bring this exhibition to Troy University Rosa Parks Museum on this 60th anniversary of the DMZ being created in Korea. And I'm joined this morning by the organizers of the exhibition, Mr. Yoon Kim, Director of DMZ Affairs for Jeonji Cultural Organization. And we're going to talk a little bit about how this exhibition came into being. Mr. Kim.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Nice to meet you.
How did the exhibition come about, and who organized it?
The Two Lines project is based on the joint declaration of intent between German Federal Agency for Nature Conservation and Gyeonggi Province on the conservation and sustainable use of DMZ and German Greenbelt. That's why we initiate this project as a follow-up activities.
I see. And so, for our viewers, when the Greenbelt was developed, it followed the path of the former Iron Curtain, the division between the East and West in Europe, and now is an ecological space. Is that correct?
Yes, right. German Greenbelt is very symbolic, symbolized areas for Korean people, because in the past, German Greenbelt was the Iron Curtain, right?
Right.
But they successfully transformed that area into the ripe reconciliations and natural monuments. That's why we would like to learn the lesson from the German's case.
I see. And you did mention to me a bit earlier that there's some core principles and core values that the Korean people have undertaken in regards to the DMZ. Could you tell us about those?
Yes. When we implement some DMZ projects, we keep in mind three core values. First, we usually say 3 P's.
3 P's?
Yes. First P would be the peace between North and South, human and nature, and locals and visitors.
I see.
And second P stands for the protection. That areas, DMZ, after the Korean War, turned into the endangered species habitat.
I see.
So that's why we needed to protect that area from the development schemes or the plans or ideas.
I see.
And third P, lastly, third P stands for the prosperity for the local peoples. Oh. Sometimes local people usually suffer from the restrictions or strictly law because they would like to use their lands for the development or some other the way of use. But government or the military service they strongly prohibited the areas.
I see.
To use.
So using those core values of peace, protection, and prosperity, this would guide the way that the DMZ will be regarded in the future.
Yes,
that's wonderful. The Rosa Parks Museum is an institution here in Montgomery that's dedicated to human rights. Similarly, peace, protection, and prosperity. Why do you think it's important for this Two Lines exhibition to be here at the Rosa Parks Museum in Montgomery?
Yeah, Miss Rosa Parks was the person, symbolized person for the human rights, right? So, and that kind of movement in terms of the bus boycotts, that kind of movement was a trigger to enhance the human rights movement around the world.
Yes.
So that's why our DMZ areas, some in the very near future, would be the very special place for the reunification between North and South. That's why we would like to use this opportunity to show DMZ is a very special place for the human rights between the South and North, and the peace and prosperity for the local people.
I see. So, Alabama and the Republic of Korea, what most Americans call South Korea, is the Republic of Korea, have been growing together through partnerships and friendships. And as these two people begin to know each other, what are the things about Koreans and Alabamians do you think would be most important that we understand about each other?
Yeah, that's a very good question. As far as I know, there are lots of the Korean-based companies, big companies in terms of the Hyundai Motor companies, and Hyundai Mobis, well, some other electronic companies in here, like LG, right? And the Alabama government, state government, and support a lot to run softly in here in Alabama, and there are lots of interactions, in terms of the culturals and educationals and trade, trade, that kind of relations between Alabama and Korea. So sometimes in the very near future we need to encompass, increase that kind of activities between Alabama and Korea.
So understanding each other not just as business partners, but as human beings, and what our cultural traditions and values
in
are.
terms of these types of two rights project. This is very, I think it's a successful opportunity, right? For show how the DMZ and the Korean culture is to the U.S. Citizens, in terms of the Alabama.
I agree. I should mention that our introduction to this exhibition came through an organization here called AKEEP, which is the Alabama Korean Education and Economic Partnership. And they are very instrumental in educating young people and providing opportunities to travel between the two countries. Could you say a little bit about what you think young people should learn from this exhibition? What
Yeah, DMZ in the past, the young people, they doesn't know about the DMZ. What is the DMZ and Korean War? And then the Korean's past. So that's why we would like show these types of exhibitions in here. And Korea was a poorest country around the world after the Korean War. But during the Korean War, United States and U.S. and some other countries support and help us, and then we successfully developed, successfully be the developed countries.
I see. Yes, I think that's an important thing that I learned researching this, that the Korean peninsula, the entire peninsula, was under the occupation of the Japanese people and government until the conclusion of World War II. And so as Korea has emerged from the shadow of occupation, from the war, these cultural exchanges are more popular or more possible, and the opportunity to educate everyone about Koreans' identity, their self-identity.
Self-identity,
Right. Well, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We're going to take a short break, and then we're going to be joined in just a moment by Mr. Kim Young Lee, the curator of the Two Lions exhibition, and his associate Jenny Lee with the Jeonji Tourism Organization, who will be translating for him. Please stand by. We'll be right back.
Georgette Norman, Director of Troy University Rosa Parks Museum here in Montgomery, Alabama. A museum that pays homage to one of the seminal events of the 20th century, the 382-day Montgomery bus boycott. On your tour at the museum, you get a chance to get key information as to why and how Negroes, as they were called back then, were able to stage this historic event and become part of history yourself. Come with me on a tour of the museum. Your guided tour begins in the orientation room, where you get a glimpse into the segregated South, meet key players of the boycott, begin to understand the roles of organizational structures, interracial partnerships, and the role of women. Now let's move into the bus room. After witnessing Rosa Parks' famous "No" heard round the world and her ultimate arrest, we go to the first mass meeting at Hope Street Baptist Church, where you become a part of the congregation and realize that indeed the boycott had been successful and we are about to embark on a few more days. You meet Reverend Martin Luther King at a very personal moment when he questioned his decision to lead the Montgomery Improvement Association after his life was threatened. And when he has his epiphany that says, "Martin, stand up for righteousness and justice." We also meet Martin when he proved that indeed he was a Gandhian, when it was tested and his house was bombed, and he told the crowd, "Lay down your weapons and go home." We learn about national and international support for the boycott and how with 19 station wagons, the Montgomery Improvement Association started a massive transportation system. The Supreme Court of the United States ruled in Browder v. Gale, the case which ended the boycott, that segregation on the buses in Montgomery, Alabama was unconstitutional. And so after 382 days of boycotting, buses were integrated in Montgomery, Alabama. To get the fuller story and experience it for yourself, please visit us and enjoy the event that embarked on 10 of the most profound years in U.S. history, from 1955 to 1965. I am Georgette Norman, Director of Troy University Rosa Parks Museum.
Thanks for staying with us. We're here today talking about a very exciting exhibition that we have here opening on April 3rd at the Rosa Parks Museum. Two lines, the DMZ in Korea and the Greenbelt in Europe. We're joined now by Mr. Kim Young Lee, the curator of the exhibition, and Jenny Lee with the Gyeonggi Tourism Organization. We're going to find out a little more about how this exhibition came together and why it's really important for people to see this exhibition. Welcome, both of you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Why is it, do you think, that it's important to see images of these barriers, these places where barriers were developed? Why is this an important exhibition?
한국과 독일은 분단을 경험한 나라입니다. 한국은 분단을 통해서 많은 아픔을 겪게 되었고 그 아픔을 극복하기 위해서 통일에 대한 열망을 갖게 된 것이죠. 이 전시를 통해서 한국인들이 혹은 독일이 통일되기 이전에 분단으로 인해서 어떤 아픔을 겪었고 그 아픔을 극복하기 위해서 그들이 어떠한 일들을 했는지를 사진을 봄으로 해서 역사에 대한 새로운 인식의 계기가 될 수 있는 기회가 된다고 생각합니다. 사진은 보물에서 사람의 생각을 바꿀 수 있다라고 생각합니다.
First of all, the Korea and Germany have in common in history. Yeah, both countries have experienced about the war and division in one nations, and so the people in Germany and Korea, they have experienced very crucial times through the wars. They were losing their family, and there are a lot of loss of the lives during the war. So we are trying to suggest the people to see what happens in the past in the war, and we hope to suggest the vision and the future by showing the very precious photos of the peoples in their lives. So we are really happy to have this opportunity, and it is our pleasure to make the people see the photos, and they can get some inspirations of the photos. Especially, we describe this through the photo. We can the visitors must see what happened in the past and how the peoples have been fight to have the freedom and to promote and enhance the peace and the hope for the future.
I heard you mention earlier, I know that when the project began, you mentioned that it was difficult to find images of the areas that were right adjacent to the conflict, and that you found eventually over 500 photographs. How did you go through that process? Where did you look to find the photographs for the exhibition?
이 프로젝트는 2011년부터 시작되었습니다. 2013년이 한국에 DMZ이 생긴 지 60년이 되는 해입니다. 그래서 DMZ 60년의 기념비적인 사업의 일환으로 이번 사진집과 전시회 기획이 시작되었습니다. 여기까지 먼저 하시죠.
Two Lines project originated by the idea to memorize the 60th anniversary of the, I can say, can you stop it a little bit?
The 60th anniversary of the creation of the DMZ.
Yeah, the end of the Korean Wars.
Right.
Yes, right. Is 2013 was the 60th anniversary of the event.
Right.
So this event was intended to promote the special occasions in history.
그래서 한국의 분단과 전쟁, 그 이후에 남북의 대립, 그리고 통일을 위한 남북 관계의 개선 등 그 DMZ에서 지금 현재의 모습까지 담은 60년의 역사를 보여주기 위한 사진을 모으기 시작했습니다.
For the reasons, we started to collect all the photos contained a shot of the DMZ from the 60 years ago and until now.
And I noticed in working with the exhibition that there are very powerful images, like this man with the barber, very personal human images.
Yeah.
So there are also images of sort of the broad scale, but the very personal. Can you tell me how you chose those images? How did that come about?
예, 지금 이 이미지 같은 경우에는 실향민에 대한 기록인데 한국 전쟁으로 인해서 1,000만 명의 이산 가족이 생겨나게 되었습니다. 그래서 한국인에 있어서 가장 큰 아픔 가운데 하나가 이산의 아픔인데 그 이산의 아픔을 너무나 잘 보여주는 사진이라고 생각되고 독일 또한 통일되기 이전에 수많은 이산 가족이 있었다고 알고 있습니다.
Especially these photos, the old man, he has a family in North Korea, and he is one of the person who belong to the separated families because of the war. So he shows the sadness of the separated families from the Korean War. And not only for that, but also we assume that there are a lot of people who has been separated their family in the Germany. So by showing this image, we hope to suggest the kind of the pain of the persons, and broadly I think is connected to the humanism.
Very much so.
조금 더 붙여서 이 사진은 2만 장의 사진 가운데 500장의 사진을 골라서 이제 사진집을 만들게 되고 세계적으로 굉장히 유명한 사진가들이 이번 사진집에 실리게 되었습니다. 예를 들면은 라이프지 창간 후에 표지를 장식했던 마그레 버커 화이트라든지 2차 세계대전의 종전의 기쁨을 맨하탄에서 찍었던 알프레드 에이젠슈타트, 그리고 매그넘의 창립자인 로버트 카파, 앙네카의 데프레송, 그리고 한국전쟁을 찍어서 굉장히 유명해진 라이프지 기자인 데이비드 더글라스 덩컨 같은 사진 작가들이 사진에 실린 것 또한 굉장히 의미 있는 일이라고 생각합니다.
And not only for that, but also to collect the appropriate and very attractive photos, we have checked about 20,000 photos.
20,000.
Yes, it's among them we selected about 500 photos, and we made these photo books. And especially there are lots of photographers who have really well known. For example, the Robert Capa, of the founder of the Magnum Photos, and Douglas Duncan, and there are a lot of photojournalists from the Life magazine.
Right.
Yes, and National Geographic.
And 알프레드 에이젠슈타트,
Alfred Eijenstarter.
매그넘
Magnum,
라이프지의
Alfred.
창립의 스텝이었던
Life Eijenstarter, he was one of the member of the founder of the Life
알프레드
magazine.
에이젠슈타트.
Right.
Yeah, and 라이프지의 창간 후 표지를 장식했던 마그레 버커 화이트, 이런 굉장히 유명합니다.
So, aesthetically, as a photo exhibition, the photographs are from the very best of photojournalism,
Yeah.
from the period of the war. But then we also see in the exhibition beautiful landscapes, modern, from
Yeah.
2010 and later, of the Greenbelt in Europe, as well as the one that sticks in my memory is the cranes flying over the DMZ. And how did those images come about? How are those new images selected?
Yeah. DMZ에선 분단과 전쟁의 상징이었지만 이제 남북 관계가 새로운 전환의 시기를 맞이해서 DMZ에선 화해와 통일의 새로운 땅으로 바뀌고 있습니다. 그뿐만 아니라 DMZ에선 사람이 함부로 들어갈 수 없었기 때문에 그 DMZ 안에는 600여 종의 식물과 생물이 살아가고 있는 생명의 땅이 되었습니다. 그래서 그 생명의 땅에 DMZ를 많이 조망을 했습니다. 그리고 유럽의 경우에는 통일 이후에 철의 장막이 그린벨트로 바뀌면서 유럽 전역으로 그린벨트가 확산되고 있고, 그건 또 하나의 환경운동으로 발전하고 있는 것으로 알고 있습니다. 한국 또한 통일이 되면은 DMZ를 잘 보존해야 된다는 생각을 저희들은 지금부터 갖고 있습니다.
Yeah, because the demilitarized zones is the area where the civilians can't go there.
Right.
Yes, because it's prohibited. So because of the limitation of access of peoples, the nature and endangered species live freely in the area. So we can get a beautiful photo. It's just very unique because of the kind of the limitations for the access of the people. So we regard the DMZ is not only the places as a symbol of the pain and the struggling times of the Korean War. We think it is time to recreate the DMZ regions as the special area to promote the peace and the visions, not only for the human but also for the nature. And in this context, we can get some lessons from the Germany, because after fall of the Berlin Wall, after the unification, the Germany has tried to manage the former borderlines areas to the green belt. So due to the effort for the kind of management, it become broadened as a Europe spheres, and so they have a lot of effort to make those kind of the environment activities originated from the German green belt. So we think that we can get a lot of lessons from the case of the Germany, and we think we should focusing on the DMZ in terms of the idea.
I think that is one of the most moving parts of the exhibition, is that to go from images of war and destruction, all the resources to make this barrier, to see that nature can flourish in a place without that human destruction, is a very, very moving part of the exhibition. I know that there are some additional venues for the exhibition. There's a wonderful book that's been produced. There's a smaller book that's been produced for this exhibition here in Montgomery. And what are the future exhibition opportunities for this show?
5월 초부터 7월 말까지 헌츠빌에 있는 나사 우주센터에서 저희가 전시를 가질 계획을 갖고 있고요. 그 이후에 독일이 원래 그 통독일의 이제 25주년을 맞이하는데, 거기에 맞춰서 가을에 독일의 박물관에서 전시회를 가질 계획을 갖고 있습니다.
After the exhibition in Montgomery Rosa Parks Museum, we are expecting the special exhibition in the U.S. Space and Local Center in Huntsville, Alabama, from May to July. And after that, we are planning to hold the special exhibition in Germany with the occasion of the 25th anniversary of the unification of Germany.
Wonderful. Well, we're greatly honored to be the inaugural exhibition space in America here at Troy University Rosa Parks Museum. And we'd like to invite everyone to come visit the exhibition. It opens April 3rd, 2014, runs through the end of the month. The museum is open from 9 to 5. Daily, the exhibition hall is free and open to the public. And we're open from 9 to 3:30 on Saturdays. Thank you so much for joining us and for the great honor of bringing this exhibition. Thank you.
Thank you.